Good evening, everybody. From Busch Stadium in St. Louis, we bid you welcome to Reds baseball. The Reds and the Cardinals, they wrap up this three-game series tonight. Each club, of course, has won a game. The Reds 8-1 on Monday afternoon. The Cardinals coming back and rolled to a 12-4 victory last night to stop the Reds' 5-game winning streak. Frank Pastore will pitch for Cincinnati after his 11th victory of the season, and the Cardinals will go with right-hander Silvio Martinez. We'll be back to take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight. First for the Cincinnati Reds, leading off and playing center field will be Dave Collins. Batting second baseman Ronnie Oster. Dave Concepcion will bat third and play shortstop. Hitting fourth in left field, George Foster. Johnny Bench will catch and bat fifth. Hitting number 6 at first base, Harry Spillman. Ray Knight will play third base and bat seventh. Paul Householder will again be in right field. He'll hit number 8. And batting ninth and pitching for the Reds, right-hander Frank Pastore. Again for Cincinnati, it's Collins in center field, Oster at second base, and Concepcion at shortstop. Foster in left field, Bench catching, Spillman at first. With Knight at third, Householder in right, and Pastore pitching. For the Cardinals, to lead it off at second base, Ken Oberkfell. Center fielder Tony Scott will hit in the number 2 spot. Leon Durham, the young man from Cincinnati, will be at first base and bat third. Hitting fourth and catching, Ted Simmons. George Hendrick will be in right field and bat fifth. Hitting number 6 in left field, Dane Orge. Kenny Reitz will be at third base and bat seventh. Hitting 8th and playing shortstop for the Cardinals, Mike Phillips. And batting ninth and pitching for St. Louis, right-hander Silvio Martinez. Once more for the Cardinals, it's Oberkfell at second base, Scott in center field, and Durham at first base. Simmons catching, Hendrick in right field, Orge in left. With Reitz at third, Phillips at shortstop, and Martinez on the mound. Dave Collins, with 2 hits in each of the first 2 games here in St. Louis, is waiting on Martinez. The right-hander delivers, and the pitch is taken for a strike, and this game is underway.
Radio, starting time 7:30.
So Dave Collins batting .297 with 3 home runs and 28 runs batted in. Martinez with a 4-9 record on the year. Line drive, short hop, caught by third baseman Kenny Reitz. Dave Collins trying to shoot one by Reitz, who was pulled in at third base, but Kenny make a nice play off to his right to grab the line drive off the bat of Dave Collins.
Hitting second for the Reds, number 16.
One down, the batter, second baseman Ronnie Oster. As we check the Cardinals out defensively, they've got Reitz at third, Phillips at short, Oberkfell at second, and Hernandez at first. Oster takes it low and inside. In the outfield from left to right, Orge, Scott, and Hendrick, and Simmons catching. So the same lineup, minus a pitcher that authored the Cardinal win last night. Oster bounces it toward first, charging Hernandez. Gloves, underhands to Martinez. He gets a put out, and they're 2 away. So with 2 out and nothing happening, the batter Dave Concepcion. Davey starting off tonight at .259, and he's had a fine road trip. At 12 hits and 30 times up, figures out to a 400 clip, and his batting average has been steadily on the rise.
Number 13, shortstop Dave Concepcion.
Well, Collins is lined to third. Oster grounds out Hernandez to Martinez. And now Concepcion with 2 out. Here's a pitch, and it's a check swing grounded to first base. There's Hernandez, and an easy first inning for Silvio Martinez. Hernandez goes to the bag for the putout, and the Reds are out. No runs, hits, or errors. And after a half inning of baseball in St. Louis, the Reds nothing, and the Cardinals are coming up. George Foster leading off the second inning, batting .276 with 21 home runs and 78 runs batted in. We announced last night that Foster was chosen the National League Player of the Week last week. Joe Charbonneau, the Cleveland rookie, got picked for the same accolade in the American League. Here's a pitch to George, and he fouls off Martinez's first pitch. Foster with a 7-game hitting streak in which he has been hitting at a .500 pace, 16 for 32 with 3 homers and 12 RBIs. And a couple of hits last night. Martinez looks to Simmons and brings it back to the plate. Foster swings and hits it into center field. Tony Scott will be a routine play for him as he hauls it in. 1 away for Johnny Bench. John behind the plate Monday afternoon in the opening game here.
Number 5.
Had 2 hits in 4 times to the plate with a couple of runs batted in, bringing his seasonal total to 59. Bench and Foster co-leaders on the club in home runs with 21, and Johnny hitting the ball at a .265 clip. Check swing, strike call. Well, Martinez getting off to a much better start this time around than he did in Cincinnati. That pitch is just a little bit high. Collins led off that game with a home run. And the Reds went on to get him out of there in 4 innings and hung a loss on him. 1-1 to the plate. Bench swings, line drive over third. Base hit down the left field line. Dane Orge over to cut it off. Johnny Bench will take the turn and hold with a base hit to left. Good play by Orge, hustling over near the line to cut that ball off and hold Bench to a long single.
Number 12, first baseman Harry Spillman.
So the first hit tonight for Cincinnati, and the batter will be Harry Spillman. Danny Dreesen re-injuring that right wrist last night when he checked his swing. One of his plate appearances that resulted in a strikeout, and it's, of course, an injury that has been plaguing Danny for a few weeks now, and checking his swing simply re-aggravated it to the extent that he had to be taken out of the game and is not starting tonight. Spillman grounds to second. That's problems. Obert fell to Phillips, and not in time on the throw to Hernandez. Johnny Bench doing his best to take Phillips out of there. Didn't succeed in doing it, but did succeed in keeping Mike from getting off the good strong throw that got to Hernandez on the bounce.
Number 25, third baseman Ray Knight.
2 away now for Ray Knight. Ray batting .268 with 11 homers and 67 RBIs. He was 1 for 4 last night and had 2 doubles and a single in 5 trips to the plate in the opener. So Knight having a rough go of it until coming in here to St. Louis and now starting to swing the bat well once again. Spillman with a short lead at first base as Knight takes the ball low. Two out, we're scoreless in the second inning. Martinez turns and throws to first, and Spillman, of course, is back easily. Now the 1-0 tonight. That's in for a strike. Ray with 34 doubles is 2 off the pace being set by Pete Rose, who leads the National League with 36. And Danny Dreesen has also jumped up among the league leaders in that department. He has a total of 31. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out with a runner, Spillman at first base. Knight looks at it outside. 2 balls and a strike. Reds will be off tomorrow, spending the off day in Chicago, but a special game broadcast on the Reds Radio Network tomorrow night. Philadelphia Phillies and Los Angeles from Dodger Stadium, 10:20 Cincinnati time will be the airtime for the pregame show. And game time on the Reds Radio Network, and that game pitting the Phillies against the Dodgers at 10:30. That's tomorrow night on our second special game broadcast of the 1980 season as we focus on some of the other divisional contenders in the National League when the Reds have nights off. Martinez on the pitching rubber, sights a sign and throws to first. Stretch to 2-1. Bouncing ball hit wide of first, played by Hernandez. He throws on to second and threw the ball into the outfield. Harry Spillman will come on to third base. Keith Hernandez feeling that slowly hit ground ball wide of first and elected to go to second base with it. I think Mike Phillips was a little bit surprised that the throw came to him, and it was a low throw that got through Phillips.
Well, Marty, I think also that Keith not seeing Phillips there, and now really it was Phillips's duty to be at the bag or very close to it, and it looked like Keith might have tried to hold up on the throw and consequently making a bad throw, but Phillips just late arriving, and a good play by Hernandez, really.
Throwing error charged against Hernandez. Here is Paul Householder, and the first pitch is down low, ball 1. Paul batting .227 since his call up from Indianapolis has knocked in 3 runs. Well, the Reds are hoping to take advantage of the Cardinal miscue that allows Spillman to go to third. Pitch. Swung on and fouled at the plate. 1-1. Harry Spillman at third base. Ray Knight at first. 2 out. Householder takes it low and inside. 2 balls and a strike on the Reds right fielder. Well, a couple of young men having major league debuts last night. Jeff Combe got into his first big league game on the mound, and Joe's guest on the turf side show tonight, Eddie Milner, breaking in as a pinch hitter. Householder pulls it foul at first base. And the count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinal right-hander looking down for the sign as he checks in with Ted Simmons, straightens up on the mound, and the 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Line drive up the middle. That ball deflected by the pitcher. Got away from everybody. Goes into center field. Spillman scores. Knight comes to third, and the Reds lead 1-0. A low line drive back up the middle that was deflected by Martinez, but neither Oberkfell or Phillips could run it down behind second. So an RBI single for Paul Householder, and we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Cardinal pitching, trying to keep the ball away from Ray a lot here in the 3 games. Go to Pittsburgh, and they try to jam him with the pitch. Martinez, the stretch, the pitch. Knight swings, lines it to left field. That's a base hit. Dane Orge plays it back to the infield, so back-to-back 2-out singles here in the 4th inning, and that'll bring up Paul Householder, who has driven in the 1 run of the game. Reds now with 4 hits off Martinez.
Number 56, right fielder Paul Householder.
Paul hitting .227. He now has 4 RBIs. Has had 1 double since joining the Reds. Martinez sets. Checks his runners. The pitch. Householder lines it into right field. That's a base hit. Charging the ball is Hendrick. He comes up throwing. Here comes Spillman. The throw is not in time, and the Reds lead it 2-0. Good base running by Ray Knight as he moves on to third base. Paul Householder into second, and it's a 2-0 ball game. Well, Paul Householder, 2 for 2, has driven in both runs tonight, and the Reds lead it 2-0. And what a nice time for Frank Pastore to hopefully help himself.
Number 35, pitcher Frank Pastore.
Knight at third, Householder at second. A run in, and Frank Pastore at the plate. Frank struck out in the 2nd inning. Pastore has 6 hits and 47 times up this year. Martinez delivers. Frank swings and pops it up right side. Oberkfell and shallow right waiting on it, and he has it. That's the inning. But the Reds pick up another run with 2 out. They hit 3 straight base hits. And Strand 2, and at the middle of the 4th, Reds 2, Cardinals nothing.
Well, the Reds have been awfully good in close ball games this season. 27 wins and 14 losses in 1-run games. 2-0. Swung on and a long drive. Hit back into right field. Back to the wall goes Hendrick, and Spillman has his 4th of the year. Harry Spillman tying into a 2-0 pitch as he touches a ball. Cincinnati has its 2-run lead back at 3-1 as Spillman homers to right. Soto steps off the pitching rubber, and Simmons moves away from the plate. Okay, the pitcher and the batter are ready, and the 2-2 pitch again. Here it is. Line drive, glove by Spillman, gets up, runs toward the bag, and out. They got him. Harry Spillman fielded that ball, a hard smash on one hop and then waited for Soto to get over there. He finally gave Mario a good throw and actually tagged Simmons before he ever got to the bag at first. So in the 8th inning for the Cardinals, a threat, but that is all. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. After 8 complete, the Reds 3 and the Cardinals likewise.
Scott, 1 for 3 and a sacrifice bunt. In the stretch. And delivers. Scott takes it low and inside, ball 1. Reds in their 9th extra inning game of the year. They're 4-4. The Cardinals playing their 16th. They're 9-6. 1-0 pitch. Inside again. It's 2-0. The stretch by Hume. The 2-0 delivery. Hung on and bounced foul. 2-1. Cardinals have left a total of 5 men on base. The Reds have stranded a total of 6 through 10 innings. Hume 2 balls to strike with Tony Scott. Don Hood at second base, 1 out. Hume shakes off a sign. The 2-1 delivery. Swung on, fly ball, left field, curving foul, and that one's going to drop out of play. The count evens 2-2 to Tony Scott. Waiting on Foster and Mejias to get back to their position. Sam in center field. Hume, the 2-2, swung on and foul. The count holds at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inning started with Terry Kennedy hitting for Jim Cott. He singled to right on a 3-2 pitch. Don Hood went to first to run for him, moved to second on a sacrifice bunt by Oberkfell. Again, the 2-2. Scott swings, fly ball, left center field, and nets the ball game. Here comes Don Hood. He'll score easily, and the Cardinals win it in 10 by a score of 4-3. Marty will be back with the totals after this word.
Win with 1 out. Johnny Bench single to left field. Harry Spillman forced him at second with a ground ball to second. Ray Knight then grounded to first base, but Keith Hernandez trying to get the outplay on Spillman at second threw the ball into left field, and the Reds had runners at first and third with 2 out. Paul Householder then blasted one back up the middle for a base hit to center, scoring Spillman and giving Cincinnati a 1-0 lead. The Reds stretched the lead to 2-0 count in the 4th on 2-out singles by Spillman, Knight, and Householder. The Cardinals came back to score their first run in the 5th inning on a 1-out home run by Kenny Reach to left center field, but the Reds got that one back on the 2-out home run to right in the 6th inning by our star of the game, Harry Spillman, his 4th home run of the year. It remained that way until the 7th. George Hendrick led off and popped up to Johnny Bench. It appeared that Frank Pastore was pretty much in complete command because after getting Hendrick, he had retired some 6 batters in a row, but then Dane Ord single into center, and Kenny Reitz hit his 2nd home run of the night. This one to straightaway left field to tie the game up at 3-3. When the Cardinals got a leadoff infield hit from Dane Ord in the 8th, from Ken Oberkfell rather, in the 8th inning, manager John McNamara made a pitching change and brought on Mario Soto. Tony Scott sacrificed, but Soto struck out Hernandez, and then Simmons hit that rocket shot that Spillman made such a fine play on, threw on to Soto to get the out at first base and take the Reds out of problems. Cincinnati got a leadoff hit in the 9th inning by Harry Spillman, but Ray Knight was unable to get a sacrifice bunt down and finally grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. Householder struck out, and that was a 9th for Cincinnati. The bottom of the 9th with 2-out walk to Kenny Reitz, but then pinch hitter Leon Durham grounded out, and we went into the 10th inning. Jim Cott on the mound gave up a 2-out hit to Ronnie Oster, but got Concepcion on a ground out. And then in the bottom of the 10th, with Tommy Hume on, pinch hitter Terry Kennedy led off with a base hit to right. Donnie Hood came in to run for him. Oberkfell got the sacrifice bunt down, and Tony Scott ended the ball game with a base hit into the gap in left center field. Cardinals had 4 runs on the night, 10 hits with an error, stranded 6. Reds had 3 runs, 11 hits, no errors, and left 6 men on also. Codd working 1 inning, goes 6 and 7 with a win. Tommy Hume pitching a third of an inning, goes 7 and 9 with the loss. So the Reds, after winning the first 5 on this road trip, have now dropped 2 in a row, and they'll have one day off to think about it tomorrow in Chicago before opening up that 4-game series on Friday afternoon against the Cubs. Tom Seaver will pitch that one for Cincinnati against right-hander Rick Russell, and we'll have the pregame shows for you Friday afternoon from Wrigley Field beginning at 2 o'clock Cincinnati time. Don't forget again, tomorrow night, Phillies and the Dodgers from Los Angeles in a special broadcast on the Reds Radio Network. The pregame shows will be coming your way at 10:20 Cincinnati time. Game broadcast will come up at 10:30. Again, the final score tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 22 minutes to play before a crowd of 9,066. In 10 innings, the Cardinals beat the Reds 4-3.